The first ever Tuscan Grand Prix. One word to describe it? Chaos. 2 red flags, 3 huge crashes, and 3 standing starts. Complete madness. Today gave many of the drivers a chance to shine and capitalise on the attrition of others, and certain drivers certainly grabbed that opportunity with both hands, while others had a race to forget. Here are our winners and losers from the first ever Tuscan Grand Prix. Without a doubt, Lewis Hamilton is our biggest winner from Mugello today. Despite a slow initial race start, Hamilton redeemed himself by reclaiming the lead back from Valtteri Bottas at the second restart and held on to take his 90th career win. If you were to ignore the chaos behind Hamilton, it was fairly straightforward for the Brit. Once again, he extends his championship lead as his 7th world title looms even closer. It is becoming a recurring theme for Valtteri Bottas that when given the chance to capitalise on Lewis Hamilton's rare mistakes, the Finn fails to take advantage. A slow start for Hamilton at the start of the race provided Bottas with the opportunity to storm past Hamilton, before Hamilton made amends at the second start by sweeping into the lead at turn 1. From there on, it was Hamilton's race to lose, and unfortunately for Bottas, he could never quite catch his teammate. Another blow to his 2020 title hopes as he falls back to 55 points behind Hamilton. Alex Albon needed a good race today, and a good race he had. A superb maiden podium for the Anglo-Thai driver would have provided the confidence boost he has so desperately needed after a difficult season. It wasn't the easiest of races for Albon, who struggled with the standing restarts, but a sublime race to the finish and a strong overtake past a speedy Daniel Ricciardo handed the driver his moment on the rostrum. Whilst he did verge close to Valtteri Bottas towards the end of the race, the Mercedes driver was able to pull away and extend the gap. Regardless, what a way to take your first podium. It was an unfortunate race end for Max Verstappen, who picked up on a slight engine issue on the formation lap, which then led to his mechanics and engineers having another crazy fix moment on the grid. What at first seemed a fast start for Max turned into a slow one as he faded down the race line with a loss of power. Sadly, it was not meant to be for Max, who would be taken out in the first lap collision, hit by 2 different cars. A downcast Verstappen later admitted he most likely would have had to have retired the car irrespective of the crash due to the issues experienced. The Dutchman will be looking forward to Russia after 2 consecutive DNFs. Kimi's return to Mugello after first testing at the circuit 20 years prior for Sauber was an eventful one. Lucky to navigate a crash with Pierre Gasly and Kevin Magnussen, RAIKKONEN pitted for a new front wing and continued on. The former Ferrari driver would take the checkered flag ahead of Leclerc, but ended up sandwiched between the Ferrari drivers after a 5-second time penalty for entering the pit lane when it was closed was applied. Arguably, despite the race result, RAIKKONEN would cross the finish line as the fastest Ferrari-powered car in the Alfa Romeo. Ferrari's 1000th race in Formula 1 should have been a race to remember. And it was, but not for the Italian team, despite a double point score for them. Leclerc had a brilliant start at the beginning of the race, leapfrogging both Verstappen and Albon into 3rd place, but sadly it was an unrealistic standing for the Monegasque driver, who would later drop back into 8th. Meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel was unlucky to tag a spinning Carlos Sainz at the chaotic race start, and lost his front wing in the process. From then on, Vettel enjoyed a battle with the Williams of George Russell and cruised into 10th. Witnessing Mick Schumacher and his father's F2004 driving around Mugello was probably Ferrari's highlight of the weekend. Onwards they go into their toughest season yet. Who was your biggest winner and loser from the Tuscan Grand Prix? What did you think of the safety car restart incident? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Crash F1.